had a little bit more to say. I spoke about Sister Harriet Tubman and how she was already free and turned back time and time again to help to free her other brothers and sisters from the southern plantations and brought them up north, although she was already free. One thing that's associated with the black community is that we're known for having loving to have it having a good time. We like festivities and parties. We don't pay much attention to activism or advocating for the marginalized community that we are. But when it comes on to having a good time, hey, we're there. So I want to take you back into some good old times that we've had and just how much we as a black people in Canada are valued. I'm going to take you back to 1996. So in 1996, there was a shooting at the Caravana of Elric Kevin Christian. At Caravana, everybody's jumping up and having a good old time. Black 23-year-old Elric Christian from Scarborough area, down near Galloway. He was shot in the head at Caravana. The parade continued, and people even kept jumping up to that good soca music over his unalive body as he lay on the ground. And that shooting at that particular year in 96 was pretty devastating because a lady that traveled all the way from the UK to come to Toronto to Caravana, she was shot in the back, walked off of her plane into the city of Toronto to fly back to the UK, forever a paraplegic, you don't know. And then we have 1997, where my children's brother, Gary Newman, who was shot at point blank range the night before Caravana. So it was pre-Caravana celebration going on near to Sam, the record store on Young Street, and he was unalived. Somebody came right up behind him and took his life away. And black people kept partying on and on. 22 years old, forever gone. And then in 2011, we had Kevin Murray, who was unalived by the Metropolitan Toronto Police Force. His back was turned and he was gunned down 7 times when his back was turned. And the police officers who were responsible for taking his life were cleared, no surprise there, and found not to be in any wrongdoing, although multiple witnesses testified that Kevin Murray's back was turned. He was unalived by law enforcement. And then a lot of us like to take our kids to the Canadian exhibition place. Well, that picture in the middle there, I know it's a little bit of fine reading, so I'm going to read it to you. It says, in the shadow of the Princess Gates in downtown Toronto, more than 24 masked figures stood in a line, dressed in all black. Videos released by the demonstrators show them chanting mass deportation and that DEI ruins countries. Diversity, equity, and inclusion ruins countries. Okay? So they were chanting as they held banners scrawled with white nationalists' slogans. And this took place this year, May the 3rd, at the C&E exhibition place. And I just want to let you know what's so ironic about this taking place at the CNE. We all know the Legislative Assembly grounds of Ontario is the designated place where organizations and individuals could gather and protest against a policy or a legislation or what have you. But these supremacists felt very comfortable to go to a place where black, white, Chinese, Indians, families bring their children every summer and spend hundreds of dollars to take their kids to have a good time. The CNE exhibition place is part of summer in Toronto. Nothing was ever done. And I want to let you know, to all of my black brothers and sisters who will go there and line up and buy tickets and fund these racist establishments, the Honorable Mayor Olivia Chow of Toronto is a member. She sits on the board of directors, and we've never seen anything in the news or public to talk about the safety and concern for black people who chose to visit and patron the CNE or the exhibition place this year. And why I mentioned how many youths got unalived at Caravana is because we're going to spend our black earned dollars and go pay money and put more revenue into the city of Toronto's pockets. And Caravana is not even operated and controlled by a Caribbean person. It was taken over after all those shootings. So we have a law enforcement unaliving a man, a black man whose back was turned. We have two black youths, 22 and 23, that were unalive, plus the lady from the UK that went home in a wheelchair, celebrating Caribbean culture. And that money isn't even going into our communities. It's not going into our children to build a black school or to save the gentrification going on downtown. Now, black people, we could dress up and go and put more money into a city's hands that doesn't even respect us, where black people will step over another on a live black man's body to keep having a good time and spending more and more money to put more money into the Ontario government's hands to give them more power and strength to fight against our community. Yet we find it hard to sign a petition. Yet we find it hard to empathize for all those black businesses that are about to shut down and take away the little bit of culture we have for ourselves down on Eglinton Avenue West. They already tossed and tear down Regent Park. After Eglinton Avenue West, what is left? We need to prioritize and know who we're funding. We have no black schools, no black banks, no peace where we live. You don't know. Nobody's going into Kensington Market or into Chinatown there on Spadina to bother the Orientals over there. Nobody's bothering the Greeks on Cape and Danforth. Nobody's bothering the Southern Asians in the Peel region. Only us. Why only us? I'll tell you why. Because we fail to unite and stick together. Because our priority is having a good old time. We don't care who we're funding. And just remember, those of you who disregard what I just shared with you, it's on the internet. Go and research. Their picture is right there at the bottom of this screen. And remember who sits on the board of directors. Olivia, the Honorable Mayor Olivia Chow. So, what we need to do as a people is really and truly start to prioritize. Don't ignore those petitions. Don't refuse to go to them demonstrations to call out the racism and the anti-black racism that is keeps going on and on and on, because nobody's ever held accountable. A man got shot in his back 7 times. His back was turned. What kind of degenerates serve for the Special Investigations Unit? Better yet, what kind of community sits down and keeps allowing this to go on and fight each other and not the system? The system that's designed to keep us down, the system that's designed to keep our youth filled with bullet holes on the side of the road, and all we could think about is the party and the good time. You don't know. If my message is getting through to you, you can sign the petition. You can donate $5 to Claudette Clayton, who's still fighting for justice for her daughter, Regis Korchinski. You can reach down at 1672 Eglinton Avenue West this Friday at 6 o'clock and reach out and help a brother you don't know and a sister. For after all, it's your community, it's our culture that we are losing, slipping away from us day by day by day. You don't know. Black People United for Change.ca.